Usually when we think about aging, we imagine life as a perfectly precise clock.
Mm-hmm. Relentless, I would say.
Exactly. Your hair turns white, retirement time comes, and boom, society slaps the end of the line label on you.
It's a view we've been carrying with us for decades. I mean, it's almost binary. Either you're productive or you automatically become a burden to the community.
Reassuring in its simplicity in a way because it allows us to put people into boxes. But okay, let's analyze this. Because after reading the documents from the 2025 to 2026 national study theme of the Italian lions, that clock shatters into 1,000 pieces.
Definitely.
We are faced with a completely transformed demographic landscape. And the crazy thing is that living much longer isn't the disaster we've always been warned about, but maybe the most incredible opportunity we have available.
Look, to really understand the magnitude of this, we absolutely have to look at the actual numbers, because we're not talking about a small fluctuation. By 2030, there will be 1 billion people over 65 in the world.
A billion? That's a huge number.
In Italy, the projections are even more striking. By 2050, we will reach 20 million people over 65, which is almost 35% of the entire population.
Ah, wow. So a real generation is emerging, which the literature brilliantly calls, longennials.
Exactly, the longennials.
It makes me think of the shifting of tectonic plates. You don't notice it as you walk, it's silent, but under your feet the geography of the planet is literally changing.
It's a perfect metaphor. And the fascinating thing here is precisely the invisible earthquake that this shift creates in our social fabric.
Because of the imbalance.
Exactly. There's a gap that's widening dramatically between those leaving the workforce and those entering it. The old rules of demographic balance simply don't hold up anymore.
Wait a second, let me pause here for a moment. If there's this huge imbalance, and I mean millions of people are leaving the traditional productive sector, how can we not see it as an imminent collapse?
I mean, there are pensions to pay, the healthcare system is under stress.
Yeah, and that's exactly the mental block that has guided our policies up until now. If we connect this to the bigger picture, a striking paradox emerges.
What paradox?
We've always seen longevity only as a massive expense item in the state budget, but we're ignoring the other side of the coin. The economist Klaus Schwab points out that this is actually the longevity economy.
Ah, and this is where it gets really interesting. That's right, because if this longevity economy were a country of its own, it would be the third largest power in the world.
The third largest power in the world? Really?
Exactly. In Europe alone, we're talking about a market that, according to estimates, will be worth 5.7 trillion euros by 2025.
That's crazy. So we're not talking about people who are a burden.
Not at all. We're talking about individuals who often have higher average incomes than young people, high levels of consumption, and who drive key sectors.
Like adapting homes with smart technology, I imagine.
Yes, smart home technology, but also off-season tourism, specific nutrition for health, and even cultural welfare.
So they are a real economic engine, not just passive consumers. But moving from big capital to everyday life, how does this wealth actually turn into something that truly helps the community on a human level? Numbers alone are a bit cold.
This is where practical action in the community comes into play. In other words, the commitment to dismantling old prejudices. And the Lions, for example, are working precisely to turn these concepts into tangible realities.
Of course, moving from theory to action.
Exactly. Just think of the major conference organized by the 3 Lions districts, 108, TAR 1, TAR 2, and TAR 3, joining forces.
Are the one in Abano Terme, right?
Exactly there, in Abano Terme, in the province of Padua, on April 18, 2026. The title is spot on, Longevity Re-Evolution.
I really like it. Longevity Re-Evolution. And I imagine it's not just an event to rattle off data.
No, not at all. It's a real workshop to teach and promote active aging.
So, what does all this mean in practical terms? How does this active aging that everyone talks about actually work?
It means triggering a virtuous cycle. Imagine a retired professional who decides to mentor young people at a startup or offers their skills to the local community.
That's wonderful. In this way, young people receive decades of hands-on experience for free.
And what about the longennial? By feeling useful and maintaining a sense of purpose, they fight isolation. We know for certain, medically speaking, that inactivity and loneliness drastically accelerate cognitive and physical decline.
It's a brilliant exchange in its simplicity. You trade experience for energy and innovation.
Exactly, it's an intergenerational alliance. If we don't build this bridge, the risk is the deep social divide. But if we work together, well, longevity becomes our competitive advantage.
This makes us realize that having more time at our disposal is an incredible gift. The rules of the game have changed, and the alliance between generations is what will define the future of anyone listening to this discussion.
Absolutely agree. Which brings us to one last big provocation that I think we should reflect on.
Go ahead and let's hear it. I'm definitely all ears.
If today we're building a society where we can expect decades of active, energetic life well beyond retirement, how will our educational system need to change?
That's a wonderful question.
Maybe today's school shouldn't prepare us for just one career anymore, but should give us the tools to reinvent ourselves and live 3, maybe even 4 different lives within our one very long existence.